What if one of the greatest prophets' stories was hidden from us? What if the story of Ilyas, A.S., a prophet who stood against corruption, idol worship, and environmental destruction, was not what we've been taught? What if there are lessons in his struggle that the world has forgotten, lessons that are more urgent today than ever before? Ilyas, O.S., confronted not just the powerful rulers of his time, but a society blind to its own destruction. He spoke against idol worship and the abuse of the land, a warning that echoes across centuries. And today, we see the same patterns repeating. Greed, neglect, and ignorance are pushing our planet to the brink. Water scarcity, famine, and environmental collapse are not just headlines. They are urgent signals of what happens when truth is ignored. This story is so controversial that many refuse to speak about it. Scholars debate, histories are rewritten, and yet the truth quietly waits in the shadows. What can we learn from Ilyas, LRS, today? How might his struggle reveal secrets about courage, faith, and the hidden forces shaping our world? Have you ever wondered why some truths are hidden from history? This story is so controversial that most people refuse to speak about it. Watch closely, because what you're about to hear might change the way you see the past and the present. What are your thoughts on hidden stories from history? Could there be lessons we're ignoring today? To understand the forbidden story, we must first know who Ilyas S. really was. In the Quran, he is mentioned as a prophet sent to guide the people of Israel during a time of great moral decay. Surah Al-An'am 685 tells us, "And Ishmael, Idris, and Dul-Kifl, all were among the righteous." And in Surah As-Safat 37, 123-130, Ilyas, A.S., is remembered for his unwavering call to monotheism and justice, even when faced with a society obsessed with idols and false gods. Ilyas, A.S., warned his people against worshipping Baal, an idol representing corruption and the exploitation of nature. He confronted leaders who ignored the suffering of the land and its people, speaking truth to power when few dared. Imagine standing alone, knowing your voice could change the course of history, but being ignored, ridiculed, or worse. Today, whistleblowers, environmental activists, and human rights defenders face the same battles. Consider the farmers in Madagascar struggling through severe droughts, or activists exposing corporate pollution. Just as Ilyas, A.S., stood for the health of his land and the moral integrity of his people, these modern-day heroes risk everything to speak the truth. The lessons of Ilyas, A.S., are not just historical. They are mirrors of our present. His courage reminds us that standing for truth and protecting creation are timeless responsibilities. And yet, like his story, many of these struggles today remain ignored by mainstream society. Imagine standing up against the entire system, knowing that history may erase your name. This prophet faced the same challenges that activists today are still fighting against. What would you do if the world refused to listen to truth? Can you share a modern story of someone fighting for truth or justice, like Ilyas did? Even though Ilyas, I.S., is mentioned in the Quran, much of his story has been obscured, debated, or simply left out of popular history. Scholars hint at deeper layers of his mission, layers that challenge not only faith, but the very structure of society. Why? Because truth, when it threatens power or comfort, is often hidden. Ilyas, A.S., spoke against the worship of Baal, which represented not just false religion but societal corruption, leaders exploiting their people, ignoring the suffering of the land and abusing natural resources. He fought not with weapons, but with words, faith, and moral courage. And history? It barely remembers him as a figure who challenged authority. His warnings, like the forgotten cries of many prophets, were muted by the weight of convenience, fear, and greed. Consider today's world. Environmental activists exposing illegal deforestation, journalists revealing corruption, scientists warning about climate collapse. How often are they silenced? In Syria, whistleblowers have risked their lives to report truth. In Brazil, the Amazon's guardians fight corporate interests with little global attention. Just like Ilyas, A.S., the brave few who speak against injustice face resistance, ridicule, and danger. The forbidden story is not just a relic of the past. It is alive in our world today. The patterns repeat. Truth is dangerous, courage is rare, and the lessons of the prophets remain hidden until we dare to uncover them. Why are some stories kept secret? Could learning them change everything we believe? History isn't always what it seems, and Ilyas A.S. proves it. Do you think society today would punish someone for exposing the truth? The story of Ilyas A.S. is not just an ancient tale. It is unfolding all around us. Across the globe, communities face crises that echo the struggles he warned about thousands of years ago. In Madagascar, prolonged drought has devastated crops and forced families to walk miles for water. In California, wildfires rage every year, leaving behind scorched forests and shattered communities. These are not isolated events. They are the consequences of ignoring truth, mismanaging resources, and turning a blind eye to corruption. Ilyas, A.S., confronted a society that worshipped idols and neglected the balance of the world. Today, idols may take different forms. Corporations exploiting land, governments ignoring climate warnings, or even social systems that reward profit over people. And yet, like Ilyas, brave individuals are standing up. Farmers in sub-Saharan Africa are reviving ancient water harvesting techniques. Environmentalists in Brazil risk imprisonment to protect the Amazon. Journalists in oppressive regimes report truths that could cost them their lives. The struggle is the same: courage against indifference, faith against fear. These modern-day Ilyases remind us that truth is timeless and courage is eternal. Every act of bravery, every voice raised for justice, mirrors the mission of Ilyas A.S. His story is not just a lesson from the past. It is a living guide, showing us how to confront corruption, protect our planet, and speak boldly even when the world refuses to listen. Look around today. How many Ilyases are being ignored? Truth has always been dangerous. Are we paying attention? This isn't just a story from the past. It's happening right now. When we look at these crises today, we are reminded that the lessons of the prophets are not locked in history. They live in every person who dares to speak truth, defend the helpless, and care for the world around them. Ilyas A.S. continues his mission, not through miracles alone, but through the actions of those who heed his call. The story of Ilyas A.S. is not just a tale of the past. It is a mirror for our lives today. His mission was clear: stand for truth, protect creation, and never bow to corruption or societal pressure. In a world filled with idols of power, greed, and negligence, these lessons are more relevant than ever. Lesson 1: courage is timeless. Ilyas A.S. faced ridicule and opposition, yet he remained steadfast. Today, the modern Ilyases, activists, whistleblowers, and environmental defenders face similar challenges. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. What would we do if we had the same resolve? Lesson 2. Responsibility for creation. Ilyas, A.S., warned against neglecting the land and its people. Modern parallels are everywhere. Deforestation, pollution, and water scarcity remind us that stewardship is not optional. It is sacred. Every action we take, small or large, impacts the world around us. Lesson 3. Speaking truth is necessary, even when uncomfortable. Ilyas, R.S., challenged the powerful and defied societal norms. In our time, truth-tellers are often silenced or ignored, but history shows that their courage reshapes the world. Standing for justice is not just noble, it is transformative. Every generation has an Ilyas. Are you one of them? Silence can be deadly. Action is sacred. The world changes when ordinary people refuse to accept injustice. Ilyas, R.S., reminds us that standing for truth is never easy, but it is always necessary. His forbidden story challenges us to see beyond comfort and convenience, to recognize injustice and to act. Courage, stewardship, and truth are not just lessons. They are a call to live differently, to become the change our world desperately needs. The forbidden story of Ilyas, A.S., is more than history. It is a living message for our times. He stood alone against idol worship, corruption, and the destruction of the earth. He challenged authority, risked ridicule, and refused to stay silent. And today, the world still needs voices like his. What if we could carry the courage of Ilyas, A.S., into our own lives? What if we refuse to accept injustice, to stand by while the earth suffers, or to ignore the cries of those in need? Each of us has the power to act, to become a modern Ilyas, to speak truth, and to protect what is sacred. Share this story with someone who needs to hear it. Truth can inspire action. Comment your thoughts. What truths are we ignoring today? The forbidden story doesn't end here. It continues with us. The forbidden story of Ilyas, A.S., is not just a tale of the past. It is a call to action for the present. History may hide the prophets, but their message lives through those who choose courage, truth, and stewardship. The question is, will you answer the call? The story of Ilyas, A.S., doesn't end with this video. It continues through the actions we take today. Every one of us can be a modern Ilyas, standing for truth, protecting our environment, and challenging corruption wherever we see it. And we want to hear from you. Your voice matters. Let the world hear your modern Ilyas story. Can you connect a current event to the wisdom of Ilyas, A.S.? Tag someone who inspires you to speak truth or protect creation. The forbidden story of Ilyas, A.S., lives in every courageous act, every voice that refuses to be silenced. Share your story, speak the truth, and continue the mission. The world needs your courage now.